In the 1970s, the gas crisis didn't just drive up fuel prices, it changed the way Americans cooked. With gas shortages, long lines at the pump, and prices climbing, families had to rethink every aspect of daily life, including meals. They started cooking less on the stove, relying on simpler, quicker dishes that didn't use up precious gas or require expensive ingredients. Today, we're diving into 25 cheap meals from the 1970s gas crisis that helped families survive and can still save you money today. Stick around, these retro recipes might just change the way you cook. 1. Pimento cheese ball. It's 1973, and the gas crisis is in full swing. You've seen the long lines at the pump and the rising prices, but in the kitchen, a simple yet brilliant solution emerges. Enter the pimento cheese ball, a no-cook, pantry-friendly dish that's about to change the way families eat during tough times. Made with cream cheese, sharp cheddar, mayo, and pimientos, this dish was all about making the most of cheap, easy-to-find ingredients without using up precious gas or energy. It wasn't just a snack. It was a way to feed a crowd without breaking the bank. Whether at a potluck or a backyard gathering, the pimento cheese ball became the go-to dish that allowed families to enjoy each other's company without worrying about rising fuel prices. But beyond its practicality, the pimento cheese ball became a symbol of resilience during the crisis. It was simple, it was affordable, and most importantly, it was comforting. Even today, it brings back memories of how we got through hard times with a little creativity, and it can still help you save money while adding a retro touch to your next party. 2. Brown bean chowder. In the heart of the 1970s gas crisis, families were forced to find meals that were both hearty and cheap. That's when brown bean chowder stepped in, a thick, satisfying soup made with simple ingredients like beans, onions, and a few seasonings. No need for fancy cuts of meat or expensive vegetables. This dish was all about making the most out of pantry staples that were cheap and plentiful. What made this chowder special wasn't just its affordability, though. It was the way it brought comfort to families who were feeling the stress of rising gas prices and limited resources. On those cold, dreary nights, a bowl of this hearty chowder didn't just fill the stomach. It offered a moment of relief. And best of all, it didn't take much time or energy to cook, which was crucial when every bit of gas and energy had to be conserved. Fast forward to today, and brown bean chowder remains a practical choice for anyone looking for an easy, budget-friendly meal. It's a throwback to a time when resourcefulness was key, and it can still be a lifesaver for your grocery bill today. 3. Kiche Lorraine. Kiche Lorraine might sound like an elegant dish, but during the gas crisis, it was the perfect example of making something fancy from a few simple ingredients. The 1970s saw quiche becoming a household favorite, not just for its flavor, but because it was easy to make, inexpensive, and could feed a crowd without turning on the oven for hours. A mixture of eggs, cheese, bacon, and a pre-made pie crust, Kiche Lorraine was the ultimate make-it-work meal. When gas was precious and budgets were tight, the beauty of quiche was that it didn't require much to create. You didn't need expensive cuts of meat or long cooking times, making it the perfect solution for busy families who wanted a comforting meal without draining resources. Kiche Lorraine became a classic meal for brunches, potlucks, and even dinners, providing a rich, savory option that felt like a treat. Today, Kiche Lorraine is still a delicious and practical way to use up leftover ingredients and stretch a few eggs into something extraordinary. It's a reminder that with a little creativity, you can transform a few basic items into something delicious, and save money while doing it. 4. Clam Dip. Clam dip became the go-to appetizer during the 1970s, especially when families were looking for something easy and affordable to serve guests. With limited resources and rising gas prices, anything that didn't require a stove or oven was a win. The humble clam dip, a mix of canned clams, cream cheese, and mayo, was a quick, no-cook dish that could be made in minutes with pantry ingredients. It was simple, inexpensive, and yet somehow felt a little bit special when served with chips or crackers. This dish wasn't just about stretching $1. It was about turning something simple into a snack that felt like an indulgence, even in difficult times. While it wasn't gourmet by any stretch, Clam Dip was a reminder that even with minimal ingredients, you could still offer a flavorful treat for your family or guests. It quickly became a favorite at potlucks, parties, and any gathering where you wanted something easy to throw together without worrying about the stove. Today, Clam Dip still has that nostalgic charm, cheap, cheerful, and surprisingly satisfying. It's a throwback to a time when resourcefulness in the kitchen led to some of the most memorable and budget-friendly dishes. 5. Cocktail Wieners in saucy glaze. Nothing says 1970s party like cocktail wieners in saucy glaze. Back then, with gas prices soaring, families needed quick, easy-to-prepare meals that didn't require much effort or ingredients. These little sausages, simmered in a tangy, sweet sauce made from ingredients like ketchup, brown sugar, and mustard, became a go-to dish at every gathering. It was all about convenience. Just heat them up, and you had a snack that could feed a crowd without using up any precious gas. Cocktail wieners weren't just a quick bite. They were a symbol of the era's resourcefulness. They were affordable, easy to make in big batches, and perfect for sharing at potlucks, barbecues, or even family gatherings where you didn't want to worry about complicated recipes. They were a little indulgent, but still managed to keep costs low, a balance that made them incredibly popular. Even today, cocktail wieners in saucy glaze are a nostalgic favorite for anyone looking to serve a crowd on a budget. Whether it's for a party or a simple snack, this retro dish remains a testament to making the most of what you have while still bringing some flavor and fun to the table. 6. Tater Tot Chicken Pot Pie Casserole. The gas crisis of the 1970s forced families to simplify their meals, but that didn't mean they couldn't get a little creative in the kitchen. This casserole is a perfect example of that creativity. This dish swapped out the traditional pie crust for crispy tater tots, creating an easy-to-make, filling casserole that could feed a family on a budget. With chicken, frozen vegetables, and a creamy sauce, it was a comforting meal that didn't require much preparation or cooking time. The beauty of this casserole was in its simplicity. Families could take a few basic ingredients and stretch them into a hearty meal. It didn't need much more than a baking dish and a hot oven to make something that felt substantial. Plus, the tater tots gave it that crispy, golden top that made it feel like a treat, even though it was made with inexpensive ingredients. Today, this casserole is still a go-to for busy families who need a quick, satisfying meal. It's a nostalgic dish that proves how you can make something special out of the simplest ingredients, just like they did during the gas crisis. 7. Pineapple chicken, retroglazed style. During the 1970s gas crisis, getting creative with flavors was key, and pineapple chicken in retroglazed style was the perfect dish to do just that. This sweet and savory chicken dish combined the tropical sweetness of pineapple with a savory glaze, offering a meal that felt a bit fancy while being incredibly budget-friendly. The best part? It required minimal ingredients: chicken, canned pineapple, and a simple glaze made from pantry staples like brown sugar and soy sauce. With soaring gas prices, people weren't running to restaurants for a fancy night out. Instead, they brought the flavors of those fancy meals right into their homes. Pineapple chicken became a go-to for families looking to add a little bit of flair to their dinner table without breaking the bank. It was quick to prepare, didn't require much energy to cook, and still provided that comforting, hearty meal families craved. Today, pineapple chicken still carries that retro charm, combining the best of sweet and savory, all while being an easy, affordable dish to whip up when you're craving something different. It's a throwback to a time when resourcefulness meant making meals that felt special without costing a fortune. 8. Green bean casserole, fridge version. Green bean casserole was already a 1970s classic, but during the gas crisis, families found a quicker, more affordable way to make it. The fridge version swapped fresh green beans for frozen ones and simplified the sauce, making it a no-fuss dish that could be whipped up without turning on the stove or wasting gas. With just canned mushroom soup, frozen green beans, and crispy fried onions, this dish became a go-to for busy families on a budget. The genius of this version was in how it made a hearty meal with minimal effort and energy. It was perfect for the times, simple, filling, and easy to prepare. Families knew they couldn't waste gas on long cooking sessions, so meals like this became staples. It wasn't just about saving money, it was about making sure the family stayed fed, happy, and together, even in tough times. Fast forward to today, and the green bean casserole, fridge version, still brings back memories of those days. It's a dish that feels like home, like a reminder that during the gas crisis, people found ways to get creative and keep traditions alive with the simplest of ingredients. 9. Icebox Macaroni Salad. In the midst of the gas crisis, families didn't have time to prepare extravagant meals, but that didn't mean they had to sacrifice flavor. Icebox macaroni salad became a household staple, cheap, easy, and packed with flavors. With just cooked macaroni, mayo, and a few simple vegetables, this dish was a perfect side for any meal. It didn't need to be cooked on the stove or in the oven, saving both energy and time. This dish wasn't just about convenience, it was about stretching ingredients to feed a crowd. The beauty of Icebox macaroni salad was that you could make a big batch in advance, refrigerate it, and serve it for days. It was a lifesaver for families who had to make every meal last. And during the gas crisis, when every minute and every drop of fuel counted, that's exactly what families needed. Meals that could stretch and keep without using up any precious resources. Today, Icebox macaroni salad remains a nostalgic favorite for summer picnics, potlucks, and family gatherings. It's a dish that takes you back to a time when getting creative in the kitchen was key to surviving tough times, and it still offers a delicious, budget-friendly option for today's meals. 10. Cucumber Yogurt Salad. In the 1970s, families were finding ways to make the most of what they had, and the cucumber yogurt salad was a perfect example of that. This simple, refreshing dish became a favorite during the gas crisis because it used inexpensive ingredients that could be easily assembled without turning on the stove. Sliced cucumbers, yogurt, and a bit of seasoning created a cooling salad that could be served as a side or light meal, perfect for the hot summer months when no one wanted to spend hours cooking. What made this salad especially valuable was its versatility. It wasn't just cheap, it was a way to make the most of fresh vegetables that were easy to find and store. With rising costs and limited resources, meals like cucumber yogurt salad provided families with a healthy, filling option that didn't require expensive meat or heavy cooking. Even today, cucumber yogurt salad is a nostalgic reminder of how, during hard times, the kitchen became a place for resourcefulness and creativity. It's a dish that's still perfect for a quick, affordable meal on a hot day, proving that sometimes the simplest meals are the most satisfying. 11. Rolo Ritz Sandwich. When the 1970s gas crisis hit, families quickly learned that you didn't need fancy ingredients to make something delicious. Enter the Rolo Ritz sandwich, a sweet and salty combo that became a favorite for its simplicity and affordability. Just take a Rolo candy, sandwich it between 2 Ritz crackers, and you've got a treat that hits all the right notes without needing any oven time or expensive ingredients. What made this snack so popular was how effortlessly it fit into the gas-saving mindset. It didn't require cooking or even refrigeration, making it perfect for the busy, cost-conscious families of the time. It was a quick, fun way to satisfy a sweet craving while keeping things affordable. Plus, the crunchy Ritz crackers and gooey Rolo center made it feel like a special treat, even in tough times. In a world where every penny counted and every gas drop mattered, this snack became the ultimate symbol of getting the most out of what you had. Today, the Rolo Ritz sandwich still carries that nostalgic charm. It's a reminder of a time when resourcefulness in the kitchen led to some of the most memorable and delicious snacks. 12. Salmon Patties, pan-fried. In the 1970s, when every penny counted, families turned to affordable ingredients like canned salmon to create hearty, flavorful meals without spending too much. Salmon Patties, a simple dish made by combining canned salmon, breadcrumbs, and eggs, were a way to feed a family without using up precious resources. The patties were pan-fried, crispy on the outside, and soft and flavorful on the inside, giving families a filling meal without turning to expensive cuts of meat. What made this dish especially great during the gas crisis was its versatility. You could make a big batch of salmon patties and serve them in sandwiches, with sides, or just on their own. They were cheap, easy to prepare, and filled you up after a long day. Plus, you didn't need to use much fuel to cook them, just a quick fry in the pan, and you had a meal ready to go. Today, salmon patties remain a nostalgic reminder of how, during tough times, people found ways to make the most out of what they had. Whether you're looking for a retro meal or something budget-friendly, this dish is still a great option that proves you don't need to break the bank to eat well. 13. Idaho Style Finger Steaks. In the 1970s, when gas prices were soaring, families had to make every meal count. Idaho-style finger steaks became a beloved dish because they were simple, affordable, and packed with flavor. This dish featured tender strips of beef, battered and fried to perfection, offering a crispy exterior with a juicy interior. Finger steaks became popular for their convenience. You could eat them with your hands, making them perfect for family dinners or parties where you didn't want to fuss with utensils. What made this dish so special during the gas crisis was how easily it could be prepared with minimal ingredients. With a small amount of beef and a simple flour batter, families could create a meal that felt like a treat. The best part? It didn't require hours of cooking, so you could have a filling, satisfying dinner without using up too much gas or energy. Today, Idaho-style finger steaks continue to be a nostalgic favorite, offering a fun and delicious meal that's still easy to make on a budget. They remind us that even in tough times, you can enjoy something indulgent without spending a fortune. 14. Stuffed celery, ants on a log. When the gas crisis hit, families had to get creative with snacks that were easy to make, affordable, and could be enjoyed by everyone. Stuffed celery, or as it's often called, ants on a log, was a perfect solution. Simple to prepare with just celery, peanut butter, and a few raisins, it became a popular snack for kids and adults alike during the 1970s. It didn't require cooking, was easy to assemble, and provided a healthy option without breaking the bank. This dish was more than just a snack. It was a reminder that even when times were tough, you could still find joy in the little things. Plus, it was a snack that could stretch a small amount of peanut butter and raisins into something that could feed the whole family, helping to make every penny count during tough times. Today, stuffed celery still holds a special place in many hearts. It's a snack that's easy to make, affordable, and brings back memories of simpler days, when resourcefulness in the kitchen didn't just feed the body, but also the soul. 15. Zebra Icebox Cake. During the gas crisis, families were looking for ways to create desserts that were easy to make, didn't require baking, and still felt like a treat. Enter the Zebra Icebox Cake. This no-bake dessert became a hit in the 1970s because it used simple ingredients like graham crackers, chocolate pudding, and whipped cream. The cake was layered and left to set in the fridge, creating a rich, creamy dessert that required little effort but delivered big on flavor. What made the Zebra Icebox Cake so perfect for the times was that it didn't require turning on the oven, which helped conserve gas. It was the perfect dessert for hot days when no one wanted to spend time in a heated kitchen. Plus, it was a dessert that could be made in advance, allowing busy families to enjoy a sweet treat without much hassle. Today, the Zebra Icebox Cake is still a nostalgic favorite. It's a reminder that even when resources were tight, families found ways to indulge without sacrificing time, energy, or money. And it's still a go-to for anyone looking for a simple, crowd-pleasing dessert. 16. Lemon Icebox Pie. Lemon icebox pie was the go-to dessert for families during the 1970s gas crisis, offering a refreshing, tart treat without the need for baking. Made with a graham cracker crust, sweetened condensed milk, and fresh lemon juice, this no-bake pie was both easy and inexpensive to make. In a time when every ounce of energy had to be conserved, this dessert provided the perfect balance of simplicity and flavor. The beauty of lemon icebox pie was in its versatility. You didn't need fancy equipment or a hot oven to create a dessert that felt indulgent. It was the kind of pie that could be thrown together quickly, chilled in the fridge, and served as a sweet ending to any meal. It became a household favorite because it was so simple, yet so satisfying, turning just a few basic ingredients into something everyone could enjoy. Today, lemon icebox pie still carries that nostalgic charm. It's a reminder of how, during tough times, the kitchen became a place to create joy and comfort with the simplest of ingredients, and it remains one of those classic desserts that never goes out of style. 17. Watergate Salad. Watergate salad, also known as green goo, became one of the most unexpected and beloved desserts of the 1970s. Named after the Watergate scandal, this colorful sweet dish combined instant pistachio pudding, Cool Whip, crushed pineapple, marshmallows, and chopped nuts into a creamy, chilled salad. While it may sound strange, the combination was surprisingly delicious, and it became a go-to dessert during a time when families were looking for quick, low-cost ways to satisfy a sweet tooth. What made Watergate salad so special wasn't just its flavor, it was how it brought a little fun to the table. In the midst of the gas crisis and a tense political climate, this dessert offered a playful escape. It was quick to prepare, required no baking, and was a crowd pleaser at potlucks and family dinners. Plus, it used simple, shelf-stable ingredients, making it the perfect solution for families on a budget. Today, Watergate salad is still a nostalgic favorite, offering a creamy, sweet treat that takes you back to a time when convenience and creativity in the kitchen were key. It's a reminder that even in tough times, we can find comfort in simple, unexpected joys. 18. Dump cake. Dump cake became a staple in many households during the 1970s, and for good reason. It was easy, quick, and incredibly affordable. The recipe was as simple as it sounds. You dump a few ingredients into a baking pan and bake. Typically, it combined canned fruit, like cherries or pineapple, cake mix, butter, and sometimes nuts or coconut, creating a dessert that was sweet, gooey, and irresistible with minimal effort. What made dump cake a go-to during the gas crisis was its no-fuss nature. It didn't require much preparation or ingredients, and it could be thrown together in a matter of minutes, perfect for busy families trying to keep things simple while still satisfying a craving for dessert. No fancy kitchen tools or long cooking times were needed, just a few pantry staples and you had a comforting treat that could feed the whole family. Today, dump cake remains a nostalgic and easy-to-make dessert that's still as simple as ever. It's a reminder of how, during tough times, the kitchen became a place of creativity, turning a few basic ingredients into something that felt like a special treat. 19. Hummingbird Cake, quick layered version. Hummingbird cake is a true Southern classic that made its way into 1970s kitchens during the gas crisis thanks to its simplicity and affordability. This quick layered version of the cake kept the rich flavors of the original, bananas, pineapple, and pecans, while cutting out some of the more complex steps and ingredients. It was a cake that came together fast, requiring only a few pantry staples, and could feed a crowd without using up too many resources. What made hummingbird cake so perfect during the gas crisis was how it could be made quickly, yet still felt like a special treat. The combination of bananas, pineapple, and cream cheese frosting made for a moist, flavorful cake that brought a touch of indulgence without turning on the oven for hours. It was a comforting dessert that gave families something sweet to look forward to in the midst of tough times. Today, the hummingbird cake, quick-layered version, remains a nostalgic favorite, offering the same rich tropical flavors that made it a beloved dessert during the gas crisis. It's a reminder that even in challenging times, you can still find ways to create something delicious and comforting with what you have. 20. Peanut butter and jelly cake. During the 1970s, when families were struggling with gas shortages and high prices, meals and snacks needed to be as cost-effective as they were satisfying. The peanut butter and jelly cake was born from this need. This cake combined the beloved flavors of peanut butter and jelly in a simple, no-frills dessert that was both affordable and comforting. It was a creative twist on the classic peanut butter and jelly sandwich, turning it into a rich, moist cake topped with a sweet jelly glaze. What made this cake a hit during the gas crisis was how it took everyday ingredients, peanut butter, jelly, and basic pantry staples, and transformed them into something more indulgent. It didn't require much effort, making it a perfect dessert for busy families trying to keep their energy use low. The cake became a nostalgic favorite, not just because it tasted great, but because it symbolized how families could make the most out of what they had during tough times. Today, peanut butter and jelly cake still brings back memories of a simpler time. It's a playful, easy-to-make dessert that brings comfort and familiarity to the table, proving that even in the hardest times, creativity in the kitchen could lead to something sweet. 21. Grasshopper Pie. Grasshopper pie, with its vibrant green color and minty flavor, was a fun, retro dessert that became popular during the 1970s. This no-bake pie combined mint-flavored filling, often made from cream cheese and whipped cream, with a chocolate cookie crust. It was quick to assemble, didn't require any baking, and was an easy way to bring a touch of fancy to any gathering without using up precious gas or energy during the crisis. What made grasshopper pie so special was its unique combination of mint and chocolate, which felt like a special treat even in tough times. Families looking to make something indulgent without breaking the bank or using too much energy could rely on this refreshing dessert. Its vibrant green color made it a fun choice for parties, holidays, or potlucks, adding a little excitement to an otherwise difficult period. Today, grasshopper pie remains a nostalgic favorite, evoking memories of simpler days and creative solutions to making a memorable dessert with limited resources. It's a delicious reminder that, even in times of scarcity, a little creativity in the kitchen could turn a few ingredients into something that felt like luxury. 22. Jello Pretzel Salad. Jello pretzel salad might sound strange at first, but this unexpected dish became a beloved part of 1970s kitchens, especially during the gas crisis. It featured a salty-sweet combination of a buttery pretzel crust, a creamy cream cheese filling, and a layer of fruity Jello on top. This no-bake dessert was both refreshing and satisfying, offering a little sweetness without requiring much time or energy in the kitchen. With ingredients that were inexpensive and easy to store, it became a hit for families trying to stretch their food dollar. The brilliance of Jello pretzel salad lay in its contrast of textures: the crunchy pretzel base, the creamy middle, and the smooth, tangy Jello topping. It was a dish that could be made in advance, chilled in the fridge, and served at any gathering without turning on an oven or wasting valuable energy. During a time when every minute and every drop of gas counted, this dessert provided an indulgent treat that was simple and satisfying. Today, Jello pretzel salad remains a nostalgic favorite, offering that same perfect balance of salty and sweet. It's a throwback to a time when creativity in the kitchen led to some of the most memorable and unique dishes, even during tough times. 23. Strawberries and cream cake. Strawberries and cream cake was a dessert that became popular in the 1970s, especially during the gas crisis, when families were looking for ways to enjoy something sweet without spending much money or time. This simple yet indulgent dessert was made with layers of sponge cake, fresh strawberries, and a rich, sweetened whipped cream. It didn't require an oven, and the ingredients were often things families had on hand, making it both practical and affordable. What made this cake so perfect during the gas crisis was its ease of preparation. With limited energy and rising costs, families needed desserts that didn't require too much effort or heat. Strawberries and cream cake offered a refreshing alternative to heavier, more complex desserts. It was light, cool, and satisfying, with the natural sweetness of strawberries balancing the richness of the whipped cream. It was a dessert that felt like a special treat, even when times were tough. Today, strawberries and cream cake is still a nostalgic favorite, offering a light, refreshing dessert that's simple to make and perfect for any occasion. It's a reminder that sometimes the most satisfying treats come from the simplest ingredients. 24. Quick biscuits and gravy. In the 1970s, families were looking for meals that were quick, filling, and cheap, and quick biscuits and gravy became a go-to dish during the gas crisis. This dish combined fluffy, homemade biscuits with a rich sausage gravy, all made with minimal ingredients. The biscuits were often made from a quick baking powder recipe instead of yeast, making them faster and easier to prepare, while the gravy used basic pantry staples like sausage, flour, and milk. What made quick biscuits and gravy so beloved during tough times was its ability to fill you up without costing much. It was a hearty meal that didn't require much preparation or cooking time, making it ideal for busy families trying to save time and energy. This dish quickly became a staple for breakfast or dinner, offering comfort and warmth without wasting resources. Its simplicity and warmth gave families a little taste of comfort even when times were tough. Today, quick biscuits and gravy is still a comforting, nostalgic favorite. It's a reminder of how, during the gas crisis, families found ways to create satisfying, affordable meals with just a few simple ingredients. 25. Tuna casserole with potato chips. Tuna casserole with potato chips was a go-to meal during the 1970s gas crisis because it was quick, filling, and incredibly affordable. Using canned tuna, a creamy sauce made from condensed soup, and a crunchy topping of crushed potato chips, this casserole could be made in a flash with pantry staples that everyone had on hand. It didn't require much prep, and best of all, it could feed a family without using up any precious gas or energy. What made this dish so great during the gas crisis was its simplicity and the fact that it stretched a small amount of tuna into a meal that could satisfy a whole family. The addition of potato chips on top gave it a satisfying crunch and made it feel like a treat, even though it was made from inexpensive ingredients. It became a staple in many households, providing comfort and warmth during tough times. Today, tuna casserole with potato chips still holds a special place in many kitchens. It's a reminder of how, even in the hardest of times, families found creative ways to make meals that were both affordable and comforting. As we've seen, the 1970s gas crisis forced families to get creative in the kitchen, finding ways to stretch their dollars without sacrificing flavor or comfort. From no-bake desserts to hearty casseroles, these 25 cheap meals helped people survive some of the toughest times, and they can still save you money today. If you're ready to save money and bring a little nostalgia to your meals, why not try these recipes for yourself? Don't forget to share your favorite 1970s dish in the comments below, and hit that like button if you're hungry for more budget-friendly recipes. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another trip down memory lane by watching our next videos. Let's keep the memories alive and save some money while we're at it.